the brands who understand their customers the best will always win. What's going on, guys? It's Spencer here. If you're new to the channel, I run a growth-focused agency by the name of Easy A Media, where we help multiple 6- and 7-figure Shopify brands scale their sales profitably. On today's video, I'm going to be showcasing some of the best questions that you can ask your customers to improve your brand authenticity and ultimately scale your customer acquisition efforts. Now, each and every single month at our agency, we take dozens of discovery calls with Shopify brands wanting to grow their sales. And one of the main questions that we ask each and every single potential client is, when's the last time you've surveyed your customers? And I'd say for every 10 Shopify brands that we ask that question to, typically only about one of them has actually done it within the last year. And even then, when I ask if they have that data accessible, they typically don't. Now, I totally understand that there are some brands that really do know their customers well, and some of them have actually called customers or are actually potential customers themselves, which is why they built the brand. But if you're not taking the time to actually ask the people who are giving you their money in exchange for the product that you offer, you're missing out on a ton of golden information. Now, with how accessible information actually is nowadays, we see so many brands actually looking external for ways to improve their brand. They try to funnel hack other brands and mimic their messaging. But the truth is, the brands who are really crushing it are actually looking internally and not really caring what their competition is doing. The brands that are the most authentic and are the ones that you're looking up to are optimizing their businesses based off of what their customers actually want. It's so common nowadays to want to just mimic and copy what someone else is doing because that's the easiest thing to do. But one of our favorite sayings at the agency is, you're never going to beat a brand at being their brand. So rather than trying to copy what your main competitor is doing, just focus on being the best version of your brand and not someone else's. So without getting too deep, I want to help get you started on the journey of understanding your customers better and building more brand authenticity by equipping you with the questions that you should be asking your customers and how to take action on it to ultimately acquire more customers just like them. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the screen. Now, one last thing before I jump into the actual questions, I want you to pay close attention to how these questions are worded, because the way that you word your questions when you're asking potential customers is very important. If you've never read the book Influence by Robert Cialdini, then you definitely need to read that. But in that book, he talks about how framing your questions is very, very important to get the answers that you actually want to get. So with that said, the first question that we like to ask our customers is, what needs the most improvement on our store? Now, you'll notice on this actual slide that we have the actual screenshot from our survey that we send out for our clients. And you can see we actually lead with a multiple choice first. So this is actually a strategy that we've designed ourselves that we've noticed works incredibly well, especially with trying to digest information. With the way that we do this, we actually export all of our data into a Google Sheet and then add filters to the sheet so we can filter by the multiple choice answers to then see the written answers that go with it. So for this question in particular, we are asking people, what needs the most improvement on our website to provide a better shopping experience? We then give the customer the option to select the overall design, logistical information, descriptive, imagery. You can see the rest on there. And then what we do is we prompt the user to say, hey, please explain your answer to question number 2 of what actually needs to be improved. So if someone who selected the overall design as their answer in the first part of the question, we're then able to understand what part of the design they actually want to see fixed. And this is where all of the golden information comes from, is letting your customers actually explain what they want to see from you. And as you can see on the left, the reason why we ask this question is, number one, we can learn how to actually improve the customer journey. We can learn what the website needs less or more of, and we can double down on what we do well. You'll notice with these questions as well, a lot of customers will actually give you positive feedback. So if you get positive feedback, make sure you continue doing more of that and applying that across your web experience. Now, the second question that we like to ask our customers, and is probably the biggest one that you need to ask, is what inspired you to purchase our product? Again, emphasis on how this question is framed. It's not why did you purchase our product, it's what inspired you to purchase it. And as we jump into the actual purchase decision, you can see again that this is a 2-part question of what inspired you to purchase our product. Did it solve a problem? Is it sentimental value? Is it a better alternative? Did someone who you look up to use it, or is it other? And then from there, again, we're asking the user to explain what problem did it solve, or why does it provide sentimental value? And again, the core reasons why we want to know this information, as you can imagine, is we can figure out why people are actually buying our product. From there, you can also then use that information to figure out what angles and what selling points are actually going to work well for you based on the amount of answers that you actually get. Again, the way that you position a brand that is solving a clear problem versus something that's more sentimental value is night and day different. So figuring out the main reason of why people purchase from you helps you build and craft new angles to go and advertise, and then of course reinforce what your strengths are as a brand. The third question that we like to ask, which is just a very simple, straightforward question, is who are you actually shopping for? Now, although this question is relatively simple, we've been surprised by this question quite a few times. As you can see, we give the user the option to select myself, my friend, my parents, my child, or other. And the reason why we do this is because the way that you craft messaging for people that are shopping for their friends or for their child or for their parents is a lot different. So as it says on the left, you can learn who to tailor your message to. You can learn even better who to call out in your marketing, and then you can learn how to handle that customer journey. Again, if you have a product that parents are buying for their children, the language that you use is way different than someone who's buying for themselves. Again, this is just another great question to ask so you can understand who the end user of your product really is. Now, the fourth question that we like to ask is one that sometimes gives us a lot of clarity when working with brands is, how do you feel about the price? Again, you'll notice that the way that we frame this question is just asking people for their opinion. Do you feel like our product is underpriced and great value? Do you feel like it's fair price and fair value? Or do you feel like it's overpriced and overvalued? And then again, we want the users to then explain what makes the product feel great value or fair value or overvalue. Now, because we've asked this question a ton of times for our brands, we notice that a lot of people will put fair value, but for a lot of times, brands can actually see opportunity to increase their sales just based on the feedback they get from this question. Again, as it says on the left-hand side, we can learn how customers feel about the actual price of our products and give us the insight to either raise our prices, or maybe if we drop them a little bit, that can help convert more people. Best part about this question is being able to see the specific feedback from people who say it's great value versus the people who say it's overvalued. And the reason why we do this is because we want to showcase more of that feedback of people who are saying it's great value so we can help more people see that it is a great value. And then for the customers who think it's overvalued, we got to learn how to handle those objections. One of my favorite ads that I saw from a brand, I can't remember which one it was in particular, is this company that sells shoes. And one of their headlines was, "Yes, these are expensive." And they went on to provide all the reasons of why it's actually expensive. So just because you're giving feedback that your product is overvalued, that doesn't mean that it actually is overvalued. It may mean that you're not communicating its value effectively. So again, this is another great question to get an understanding of how your customers feel about your price and to learn what you can do to improve the overall perceived value of your product. Now, the fifth question that we like to ask is, what concerns did you have prior to purchasing? This is another really insightful question to understand what speed bumps essentially your customers went through before actually purchasing your product. Being able to understand what fears or concerns, whether it was an advertising issue, or they didn't know how long it would take to actually ship to them, or the website just didn't seem trustworthy, or there weren't enough reviews. You're able to get such incredible information from this. And then again, the way that we position it is so that we can get a written explanation after. You're able to almost bulletproof your entire sales process by understanding what was causing a bit of a hiccup with them in their customer journey. Because you better believe there are people who haven't purchased from you yet that are going through these exact same fears. So if you can learn what may be stopping other potential customers, learn how to eliminate and handle that kind of doubt and fear, and most importantly, learn what you need to improve on with your messaging so that there aren't fears or concerns when it comes to purchasing your product, you better believe that's going to help you acquire more customers. Now, if you've hung all the way in here to the end, I'm about to show you the question that absolutely changes the game and has helped us create incredibly successful ad campaigns and incredibly efficient landing pages. That question is, how has the product changed your life? Now, if you truly understand how your product is impacting your customer's life, you are so far ahead of everybody else, it's not even funny. As it says on the left-hand side, if you can learn the core drivers behind why customers actually purchase, and you can learn how the benefits deliver the desired outcomes your customers want, and you can learn, most importantly, how to actually impact more people's lives. That is what building a brand is all about. Because at the end of the day, as you can see on screen, these numbers that you look at on your Shopify dashboard, they're real people. And if you focus on creating messaging and creating images, videos, and whatever else it may be to resonate with people and improve their quality of living, that's really what building a brand is all about. And I can quite literally guarantee that if you focus on impacting people's life in a positive way, you will have an incredibly successful e-commerce brand that is truly worth having. All right, that's all I've got for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up, drop a comment down below with your favorite questions to ask customers, and consider subscribing as I release weekly videos just like this every single Monday. And as always, if you're a multiple 6 or 7-figure brand looking for the help of a growth-focused agency, make sure you book a time with me down below to get your custom action plan. Once again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you next week.